Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of the Foolsopolis here in City Skylines. But guys, last episode we did some workings on trying to grow the population a little bit. We did a little bit of traffic solving. I kind of missed one of the would you call it an on-ramp or an off-ramp? One of the entrances to the roundabout is actually facing the wrong way. Appreciate you guys spotting that in the comment section of the last episode. But we added a couple of roundabouts. We extended a couple of metro lines and whatnot, and we did a few workings with the traffic, and it seemed to have solved a lot of problems. Now today, I actually want to take a look at the highways. I want to extend and start to add in where the next set of highways are going to progress through this region. If I don't get this in, I kind of found myself already building over on and kind of getting close to areas where I would place in a new highway, because if I don't get the highways connected to our inner loop, then there's no point in having the highways. So I've got to get them all in. So guys, if you are enjoying this episode, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you're already, make sure you do subscribe so you're notified when that next episode does come out. But we're back anyway, and this is the traffic that we kind of tried to sort last episode, going all the way down here to this highway entrance here, past the metro line there. Coming down to here to this roundabout, which I didn't realise, but apparently I got this one in the wrong way. Whoops-a-daisy. But forgetting that, I've given it more time right now, and the traffic really has settled down. So the traffic we had before was a combination of all the zoning that we got in, everyone slowly moving in. It was just a combination of everyone just all in at once. Traffic built up over like an episode or two, and now we've slowly dispersed it. So let's quickly sort out then this roundabout. So, la-di-da-di-da. I don't know how I managed this, because I feel like I went through all of it, but, you know, sometimes your boy's just super foolish. Which is obviously now going to change how they approach this road. So it could actually lead on to having traffic. If it turns out we start getting loads and loads of traffic again, then maybe you flip that back round. No, I'm just joking. But we also had these little underpasses as well, which has been a really, really big help. These little walkways for the pedestrians too, to keep them off the road. And the little turning lanes. So I think everything has complemented one another, and they're now able to navigate through this quite dense little area. So, right now then, we have no residential demand, but we have tons of residential zoning placed down. Now the problem is, this won't all start to grow until we get more more industrial or more commercial added in, just to kind of, you know, balance it all out. So what we'll do, I'm going to put a little bit more industrial zoning over here. It might spark a little bit more residential growth, we'll kind of see. But then we're going to start planning the next set of our highways. So, for this then, we'll use the paint bucket tool. We'll drop you there. Okay, I don't want to drop all this here. So if I drop it like that. Oh, actually, if I cancel this strip off here, because that is kind of like a main road, instead... Right, we'll place down offices, which means I can do offices on the corner section just there. Because then there's not many, well, if any, vehicles going into this, which keeps the main road pretty free. So if I run this right down to there, make all this be industrial. Again, they're all placeholder buildings, which will eventually be moved. So that nice little kind of strip of industrial placed in. Will cause traffic issues, of course it will. But most importantly, it will then hopefully spark a little bit of residential growth, which will then slowly start seeing more vehicles on the scene. So, let's take a look at highways then. So we have currently on our inner loop. I can't even speak today. We have our little inner loop. Now this inner loop needs to be the centerpiece to our whole highway infrastructure. So we already have a highway coming from outside the region which connects to here. We have this highway that also from the other side of the region comes in, connects to there, which I do want to change that, which also tears through as being a direct route down to our import-export area. Now we need highways coming off and going in different directions, because if people want to get from one side of the map, we need to throw them on a highway and give them a non-stop route to get there super speedy. So in reality, if I view it from this kind of angle, I need a highway coming down this way. I need a highway going up that way. And we also need a highway coming across this way too. Now, it doesn't mean that every highway I'm going to build is technically going to be connected to this. Because we got our inner loop here. I'm thinking about creating a larger outer loop. And then we'll have little highways that kind of connect here and there between the two. So everyone's intertwined, everyone's connected, but I think what I'll do, I'll start with creating a couple of lines that head outwards. So we'll do one coming down from here, down there, and then bending this way, and then kind of going out of the region over this side. Then so we'll have like the big loop that kind of passes over that and this one. So they're all connected. In my head, I've got exactly how I want it to work. It's just trying to implement it is going to be the exciting and interesting and also stressful part of it all. I'm also going to delete this and replace it with this. So, looking over here then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much create a little Trumpet Junction very similar to what we've got over here. Now, this is going to allow me to kind of really nicely transition over from that highway to this. The only thing I do lose though is I wanted to bring this down and maybe create a little on-off connection just there, but we do have this. We do have that as well. And that coming off going down in that direction, I might then create another connection there, so it shouldn't be so much of an issue, but you never know. You never know, boys. So then, let's kind of build it very similar to this. Now, this here is currently a 2-lane highway, which trumpets over into this, no questions, no issues, no tissues required. The problem is, that ends. So, by bulking it up to a 3rd-lane highway is what we pretty much want. Actually, we don't need to. We don't need to. I might keep it to a 2-lane highway because that is not really... Because it's like ending at a trumpet, I don't need to do 3 lanes. So, okay, that's all good. It's all good, boys. It's all good. So, if we then get this all set up. So we're already at a +10, and I'm going to get it now so far in distance away, which it looks like it's 28, which it doesn't really matter. But I just want to find a nice little point, and we trumpet into the right, and also we're going to be around about 24 away from the mark. So 24 away, that's 20. So if I look at doing it from here, and then pushing in that direction, we're going straight down. Do the same just there. And now we have some form of a connection. So if I bring it a bit further down. There we go. We're now going to be rocking and a rolling, boys. I'm actually quite excited. I don't know why. I just really am. So yeah, by doing it by a 2-lane, it allows him to do the lane math a whole lot easier. And because it's going directly outside of the region, and it's not kind of being a continuous loop, it doesn't need to be 3 lane. So when it crosses the other big loop, which is going to be 3 lane, the lane math can also work all over again. Okay, right, we're getting too carried away right now. So, remembering how to do it correctly, we then single lane it. And by single laning it, we're default to there. Okay, we gotcha. So we got to figure out how far back we want to single lane it. So from this point here, we're single laning from about... Well, it's quite a lot, isn't it? It's like almost like 28-ish. 26. That's fine. That's fine. We'll go with it. But we also need to ramp that up. Now, we'll do the ramping a little bit later. But if I put this up to by 7 and then across by 10. Do the same coming back. 10. And then down by 7. And now we have the alignment going over. So, goes over. And I assume we bring it out a little bit further. And then we start. So I don't want to... Oh, well, I do want to try and mimic this. 10 by 10s. Okay. Now we understand how I did it. We can rock and roll with it. So 10 there. So then we'll do a 10 by 10. Now, did we do a straight bit? Oh, no. We were straight into another 10 by 10 by the looks of it. 10 by 10. Right. And then I take it from there. 10 by 10. And then that became a very, very close 6 by 6. Right. Gotcha. So that becomes then a... Right. I could actually go a little bit further. So I can almost do another 10 by 10. That actually works out pretty well. Okay. We'll roll with that. So it's a little bit different for this one then. We'll kind of try and do it... Well, I won't try and do it backwards because it's not really going to work. But for this point, though, if I go here, that becomes a 13 by 13. From that point there, again, a 13 by 13. Now, for here, if I did a 10 by 10, it does kind of work, but we are progressively pushing quite close to the bend right now, which is fine. We're still able to do it. So we'll revert all this round. No, wait. That was the right way, wasn't it? This is the wrong way. And then we're pretty much almost good to go. Now on this side, if I get this all set up correctly as well, we start the bend here, which this bend here is a 8x8. We might be able to even be able to progressively pull it to a 10x10, but that's a 7x7. Right, if I just kind of follow that 7x7, again, it doesn't really hurt us too much. 7x7, obviously flip this one around, and then pump this down. So it's going to be quite long-winded. So by 10, push it in. Push it in. Spin these around. And now we have our connection. So all we got to do now then is get it connected to the actual highway road. And we got a beautiful trumpet. And then we can continue it. And then we can bring more people in. So dramatically at different levels right now. Dramatically at different levels. So if I select all the nodes on these here and just simply align them to the object height of this highway, we'll do the rest of the elevation changes very soon, but I just simply want to then get them all connected. So if I do an 8, which would be fine, 8 there would be fine, 8's fine. Now this one a little bit different, but we'll try and do an 8 as well to kind of keep it all aligned. If I flip these round, flip that round. Now before we do the bending of the roads, we're going to sort out the elevation changes, because that might also change the perspective of how we need to bend these roads. But first anyway, let's upgrade all of this. Okay, we have to anarchy that little section, because obviously simple lane math, get it all connected. Nice. So a 3 splits into a 2 and a 1, and obviously then a 2 splits into a 1 as well to make a 3. Simples, mate, simples. So we'll quickly sort this out. So bam, 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 bam. Good stuff. Okay. So get rid of you. And now we're going to sort out the elevation changes. So we'll start from here to here, which should be the same height. So just by doing that, nothing really changes. Now from this moment to there, how does that look? That progressively goes up quite high. Is that okay for us? I feel like that's going to be okay. And then I think we'll pick this moment here to there, because that we know that's the same height as this. And then we'll stagger that. So from there to there. So that's going to be a very, very nice elevation change. So now we've done that, then we can actually fully see how much we need to start bending these roads slightly. So there's only so much you can do without making it like too ridiculous, but it should all work. It should all be fine. And there we go. So we got a nice little connection now in. It then does allow us then at some point to run, for example, this 4-lane road. Making sure that we're not elevating the road all the way down to where we could create a little connection. Might be a bit too close to that. That's something that we'll have to kind of eventually play around with. Now the problem is this road coming down, we could make this go all the way down, but then the connection there's a little bit too close. So what I might make this do is kind of bend up slightly and then come down more solidly. So then we can, and probably the same to this, bend it a bit more to pull it away from this junction. Create a connection, and then also all of a sudden these two roads are now connected to a connection just there. Could be interesting. Could be very interesting. I can even make the canal slightly bend too. Ooh, Sediac. So many ideas. Now we are losing a little bit of population. I've just noticed that. So we've got all the industrial in. I think another one will be to squeezing it a little bit more kind of commercial. Now we've got the commercial around there. So I'm trying to aid the population as well as trying to slightly extend and expand the area, which can be a little bit difficult. So what is actually 10 away? So if I went by 10 and then cut across. So if I just quickly delete that. Well, bam. Right, there we go. So I'm trying to find the little marker point. So if I deleted that, if I then go up by 10. So if I did the same like we do normally, you know, what's the full distance of this? That's only 10. That would be 100. 110. So you're not really going to get a decent marker. So 20 there will become 30. And then we'll connect in. All right. Okay. Now, is that a 10 already? That's a 13. Ooh. So that's kind of slightly off, isn't it? But it would be because of the way we did the junction and the way we got that connected. But that's a little bit of fun though, isn't it? Okay, so because that's going to be like a route through, we try and keep the traffic to a minimal. Now, coming off here, we could do a 20 and down. We'll do another 20 up and down. We'll go across by another 20 up and down. Now, there is a kind of larger space. I'll keep that open to do something with it. Now, we have a tram stop here and just here. So if I create a connection just there, I can run down all commercial here. That was the whole point of building that, by the way. So throwing commercial coming down to this moment here. This allows us to spend a little bit of commercial demand. Have the commercial where we have the majority of the people walking, which is through the park. Which is quite handy. And we'll also back it up onto this little section too. And that'll be quite interesting. And that, again, should spend some of that demand. Slightly start to grow the residential. Okay, good stuff. Right, okay, so we got that connected then. We're going to push this further down. I technically don't know where it's going to go. I really don't. And I could have paralleled. Oh, I should have paralleled the road. But it is what it is now at this point, right? It is what it is. So I think we'll bring it down to about there. Bring this all the way up. There we go. And then we'll do a slight little bend right now and take it in a different direction. So let's say I chose the connection. Now, it's not going to be straight or parallel to the map or any sorts. Right, so run that directly down. We want some form of connection. Now, I could just go straight up and connect it like this. Alright, straight over to here. Which wouldn't be a problem. It just depends on what the bend is saying when I get it in. So if I go as far as I can. Right, it's borderline a straight 90 degree. Would that work for us? I mean, it could do, but is that too artificial? Because I won't be able to create any like decent connections to it because the whole road is bending. Or do I bring it down and then rather than turn, we make it go diagonal and then up that way? Because we can do more solid connections cutting to it. That's the way to go forward. That is the way to go forward. So bring this further down. I'll say to about there. Right, bring this further up. Again, I know I could have done parallel, but it is what it is at this point. Okay, here. And then if I choose, let's say, there. And where is the highway? There to there. Now, this is an interesting point I'm now doing. Because it does require now deleting and then bending. So if I delete, 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 delete. And then that's where the connection then comes into play. So bam to bam. So we'll go as wide as we can before it says, no, Sediak. There's no room at the end. Bam. So the whole point was, when I do that other second larger ring road, we have a more straight line snap-on connection for it. So it can only go very well. Again, it's still subject to change. It's not until I come to build around this area where we might, you know, slightly adjust the highway in general anyway. Alright, add you in. There we go. So we're not technically connected to the outside region just yet, so it doesn't really make any sense for us to see any traffic. Alright, that's all facing the right way. Gotta get over to this little section because this is also facing the wrong way too. Right, we'll get that connected to the outside region, and then we'll start to see some vehicles. Now, from what I can remember, I can't do it on this style of road because this is from the Steam Workshop. So you've got to use the highway that comes with the game, you know, to be able to create that outside region. So pick there, should be all good. We'll eventually start seeing vehicles coming in and out. Right, not bad. It's not much, but it opens us up. It kind of gives us that little idea of where the highway is going to run. And then we can work and base everything off and around it. Good stuff, boys. Good stuff. So we are spending that commercial demand right now. And by doing so, it started to spark a little bit of residential growth. Not a lot. Again, this is where you're thinking, yo, super demand. Where are you right now? But it's just one of those things. It is just one of those things. We'll take a look at the schooling anyway. Did we get any schools around this side? No. So that could be a really, really beneficial kind of claim. So if I drop a... Let's see. We'll drop a school just there for that area. We'll drop one just here. And then we'll go for one just there. So just dotting them around nicely. Oh, we need one over here too. So I'll squeeze you in just there. So that puts our capacity up then to 3,000. Again, it's not enough for the illegible students. Still not enough just yet, but it's better than what we had before. High school wise, we'll get this opposite the elementary school just here. We'll do the same just here. So it's all within the same hub, and it's all within little areas where they can travel to it fairly easy. Elementary school there. I'm going to drop the high school just here. Just kind of delete those buildings. Oopsie. And that gives us a higher capacity than eligibility, which is great too. So schools nearby, it can only mean good things. It can only mean good things for us. Okay. Right. So with that now in, we got this highway road up and running. We're now starting to see vehicles progressively driving through the region. It just gives these guys an alternative method and form of being able to travel around the city. We're going to sort this out, then we're going to build our next kind of highway connection. So I'm going to have to pause the game for this right now because what I'm about to do is going to pretty much ruin everything. So if I select all this to there and then delete, right, it's all gone. If I delete, okay, what's that there? It's a random factory underneath. It does mean it's gonna completely change how we bend with these highways. So I might as well delete them back a bit more. That's pretty much a straight line, so it won't affect this. Alright. Delete back a bit with them. So ever since we built this, I should actually make this an actual asset because it will be so much easier to use in the future. So what I'll do then is we'll kind of quickly select from node to node and we'll get rid of the bits we don't want. So we don't want that. Don't want you or you. We want that bit, that node. We don't want that building. Everything should be in place. We should be good to go. There's no pillars just there. It is what it is. We clone. So, with that said, I don't think I'm going to be able. Right, if I highlight over this. From looking at it from an eye point of view, is that as straight as I can get it? I don't know. But if I drop it here anyway. Oh, I think that now has been adjusted. Right, that might be okay. I don't know. It's just one of those things you don't know. So if I just drop it here, it's a little bit more compact than the last one. And I suppose only time will tell. But if we now get the highway, or it's the 3-lane roads that are now connected. 3-lane roads, this. Okay, it's slightly off. But is it enough to notice? I mean, these are a bit wonky anyway. Is it enough for us to notice? Nah, I think we'll get away with it. We'll get away with it there, and then that bend will be completely different in general. So, nice, sweet, sorted, mate. So next, as I slowly choke on air, we got to sort all these out just there real quick. On this side, I mean, there's extra nodes that I've now got to kind of slightly sort out, but we should be okay, he says. He says this, but are we okay, Zodiac? I don't know. I don't know. One day we'll figure it out. So delete you. So we know we're dead straight there. And we know we're dead straight there. So we'll then use our beautiful connection tool. So from here to here. Is this gonna work? Right. As far as we can. There we go. Add you in, because there's going to be no other connections on this road. There's going to be no other connections on this road, so it doesn't matter how mad the bend is. Alright, there we go. So pump it up. Pump up the jam. Pump it up while your feet are stomping. Bam! Woo! That looks jazzy. Right, do the same again over here. So go maximum. Pump it down. Bam! Ba-bam, bam, bam. Go big again. Bam! Beautiful. So, gotta make sure it's all going the correct way. Which it does there. Does this do the same? This is okay, it's all perfect. It's all perfect over here. So this should be a lot. I mean, the other one was okay anyway. There wasn't really many issues. But I want to try and keep up with the efficiency and whatnot. There we go. So, play mode. And also, this is a little bit shorter. So you kind of have a little, it's not much, you have a little bit more space. It doesn't look as mental right now. And everything should be flowing perfect. So it'll take a minute for everyone to realize, oh, hold on, I'm in the wrong lane. Also, I feel like that could be a slight issue. So is there junction restrictions I can throw on? I mean, they flow through. Do you know what? I don't know what I've just deleted. That's better. Because I can see it being an issue to some degree. At least that will solve it. At least that will solve it. Okay, sweet, go. Do your thing. Go, gadget. Intersection. Or something. So we just need more industrial. That is what we're kind of slightly lacking right now. So we'll slightly grow this area. Again, I'm trying to be, I don't want to be too, I'm trying to be a bit cautious in terms of growing these industrial areas. But if I come out by another 20, because the problem is, the more you grow it, the more traffic you're going to get here. So you do have to kind of be somewhat conscious of how much you're throwing in. There we go. That's why you kind of buffer it with offices. So I'm going to do all offices just here. We'll do a nice chunk of industrial going through there. Is doing it here too much? We'll throw it in anyway. That's probably as big as I want to go. And then we got a large section over there, but that's probably as big as I want to go over here. Before I do even start thinking about other ways to kind of... I mean, once I get more roads connected coming down there, they might start using this one as well. But it's becoming quite busy on this side. So, gotta keep our eye on it, boys. But again, that should spend some of that demand. Or then grow other demands, spend that demand, and progressively we push a little bit more forward. Okay, so next highway connection then. So if I go to the big O, actually, let me see how this is doing. How's it looking? Are they navigating this beautifully? I believe they are. Oh, it's amazing. It's just, it's a work of art, isn't it, guys? It's a work of art. So we got our road coming down here then, which most importantly goes down there, turns that way, goes that way. So when we got the next ring road coming through, it'll cross over there, and it'll cross over here, then over the river, and then round and back up. So that cross there and that cross there are very, very important. That's when we'll have like another couple of them added in. Slightly adjusted because that's a 2-lane road, but you kind of get the gist of it. You kind of do get the gist of it. But that's the cool thing about it, man. That is the cool thing about it. So it'll be really interesting to see how it all works. I'm quite excited. But we got those roads that allow us to flow through. So basically, right, we need another one that comes off in this direction and goes up to there. One that comes off this direction and goes in that direction out to there. And then all them roads that stick off, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can then all be connected with an outer loop going around. Because some traffic might not want to drive through the centre. Just bypass it all, which is good. Which then, once you get to the here and the one that goes to there, it will cross over as a bridge. We'll probably do like a bring it round the loop and then have like 2 highways that come directly off it. So it all works in our favour. It's just getting to that point is the big one. It's the big deciding factor. So I think I won't do this one just yet. It's this one because this is the area that made me wonder, yo, Seniac, you're actually running out of space. You're using space where you're going to be building highway connections. So I've got to do it here. One, because it's too close there to that. It's getting close there to that. So it's got to be in the center and it's got to be kind of slightly larger than normal because we've also got it connecting or going to overpassing the train line too. So this one's going to be interesting. This one's definitely going to be interesting. Now, if I swing it to the right like we've done the other one. So it looks like we're going to make it come in on a straight line on the left-hand side of the canal. Then it'll progress over and connect to this side. So looking right. So the canal would run here. Technically, run there. Whether or not it's going to be perfect, I don't know. But it should run there. Which is also going to make it interesting for this tram line. But everything's all going to be elevated anyway, so it's all going to be good. Oh, he says it's going to be good, but is it going to be good, Seniac? No. I'm panicking. I'm panicking right now. So we're going to make this end by +20. So for the first time then, we're not building the trumpet on the same level as the highway we're approaching. We're building it a lot higher. So if I use this here, and then bring this over to... Is it touching that? It's not. But bring it to there by 30. How does that look? It almost rests upon. Very interesting. Alright, bring you over. Again, on 30 mark. It's all just floating at this moment. I gotta remember how I did this right now. So, to that junction... We're looking at almost 30 away. From this one, it's, what, 20? So there's a difference already, but there's not really much I can do. Unless I did upgrade there, and then we're splitting from this section. I mean, it could still work. It could still work. So I'm now pumping this directly over to here. Same with this one. But obviously then we're flipping this road around. And then that's when we're starting our bend, right? I'm just looking at the space difference. Are we too wide on this one? It's hard to tell, isn't it? If I'm too wide. Because it feels really wide. Does it feel really wide in that other one? Or is it just me? No, that feels really wide too. That one's quite close together, isn't it? Right, where we go? We're over here. Well, let me delete this one and do this one again. So, I think it's just the natural. I think it's just the natural spacing because of how all the stuff we got working around with it. We'll just go with it because that's what's going to make this area unique anyway. So, not everywhere's going to be the same. You got to change it for the environment and the space around. So we stick out by 10. So if I literally build it identical to what we've just done the last one, which is going to go over our little Amsterdam area, which is going to be kind of cool. Oh, that's interesting. So we technically, I can't even now get it over to where I want it. So that comes to 10 by 10. So if I bring this over, right, if I do it in a straight road, over by 20, and I'll just kind of face this down this way. Right. So I delete you and you, and then I upgrade you to there. Is that the spacing? Yeah. We're going to have to use the connection tool if possible right now. If it's possible to get them connected. Oh, is it not going to do it? Are you for real? You're not going to try? So do you have to create a loop? Okay, no, it's not that. A curved mode. Ah, there we go. So curve mode. I've never done this before, so would you say that's a 10 by 10? I mean, we can always delete it after. If I add that in, do the same here. Do you know what? Not bad in a weird way. But we do have to do this part right now. Very interesting. And if I do a 10, again, I can't do another 10 by 10 because of this. Right, hold on. Oh, it's a 9 by 9. 9 by 9, we can kind of live with that. 9. But of course, we've got to build it over this. Now, where's the 9? The 9 is actually almost dead in the canal. Right, what I'll do, we'll do a 9 by 15. Right, hold on. Oh, wrong button. Because we technically know it's going to be about there. Right? Yeah? Do we just roll with it from this kind of angle? Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me, this is interesting. So, so if I then, from this height, bring it down here, from this height, right, we're kind of equal-ish spacing. But now I've got to try and mimic it this side. So at 8, and it's just not going to work, is it? Unless I pull it back a bit further. So if I delete these. And, I mean, it's so difficult with the spacing that we do have. Oh, if I just make the really, really smallest kind of angle change. Can I not get that in? Alright, just to there for a second. Because if I make the bend bigger, then... So let's say I did a 15 by 15. Then it kind of progresses over there a lot nicer. So you have to work to your surroundings. And the surroundings over here are a lot different. Definitely a lot different than normal. Right, this is good. So delete you and delete you. We're getting somewhere. So in reality, they would connect in like this, but in some form, I gotta bring them down a bit more. Oh, there's the 5 and connect in. We'll work it to kind of sort everything out. I might lower that end of the bridge a bit as well. So, mental. Absolutely mental, this one. But we now align the object height to be the same height as the highway, so we can now create our beautiful connections. So 8 like normal. Seems to be a perfect angle. This one's a little bit different because it is also coming off a bend, but again, the 8 seems perfectly fine. We're technically all connected. We just gotta make sure now we flip around the correct sides. Oh, that's the right going. I was going the right way in the first place. So, flip around all this. We just quickly upgrade the sections to 2-lane roads where needed. And then, voila! We'll do the lane management real quick right now. Oh, hang on, we got to do this last little upgrade just there. Boom! So, do the lane management real quick. Then we'll sort out the alignments, and then we'll slot out the kind of the angles of the slip roads. Alright, bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. Okay, sweet. What an interesting junction, especially for the tram that's going underneath it in our little kind of Amsterdam vibed area. But this is the city central section. A little bit of death over there as well. This is, you know, city infrastructure at its finest. Okay, right. Let's quickly sort out then the angles in which everything now kind of low-key bends. So if I start... Wait, I'm not even on the right section right now. Here to there. Add that in. There to here. Add that in. Now, all this should be fine. Okay, maybe it's not. So we go from here. Okay, the node can't be connected. It should be all the same height from there to there. There we go. So that works wonders. We are technically 20 up there, which will eventually bring that down to a 10 height. But glorious. So last thing we want to do then is sort out these little slip roads. So there's not a lot I can do about them. I can just kind of make the angle a little bit less. There we go. So the vehicles aren't coming to a full and complete stop on the way down. So this is going to come down right now. It's going to turn. Let me just quickly zoom out. It's going to turn and pretty much maybe run up a bit and then cut in. I'm trying to think the best way to do it. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I got it in my head. Got it in my head right now, but isn't that an interesting connection though? It is interesting. We've gained an extra 1,000 population since the big deficit that we've had. But we still need more industry and kind of stuff. I think we'll spend next episode as well trying to grow a little bit more of the population. But as of right now, look at the industrial traffic. I've got to get more roads connected first, so everyone can progress in different ways. Again, got to start thinking about that highway connection. For these roads to kind of slip on so they can skedaddle a lot easier. Because they're all just trying to get to the highway. Let's be honest, that's what they're doing. Right, I'm getting too carried away again. So if I pick this, then I want the elevation to be plus 10. And we're looking at it going kind of as somewhat kind of across. But do I want it at a slight angle coming across though? Like say for example like this. It's probably the better option. Yeah. So if I do it like that then. Again, it's all subject to change depending on when I start working on this area, whether it then takes a detour, bends or whatnot. But you get the gist of it. So down to here, so I could bring it a bit further. To there. To there. Bring this out a bit further too. Now we'll add the connection, then we'll do a really slow kind of elevation change on it. So connection wise, from here to here. Pump up the jam, pump it up. There we go. From you to you. Bam, ba bam, bam, bam. Nice. So the elevation change then, if we add that in. So if I start it from here and then end it just there. And then from here to there. So because of how long it is, it's going to be very, very gradual. So that you won't even notice it too much that you've just gone up an extra 10 meters if that's the case. So it's nice. You get to see, as you're driving, you can see all the death happening. All the death. But, right. Okay, good stuff. So what I want to do right now is we'll create the... Don't make this just go straight out. Would that be a better option for us? Rather than bending it, because it's leading in that direction anyway. It's slightly going up and up and up. All right, bring it to there, because obviously we have to then switch up the style of highway we're using. I prefer this style because it's a slightly different. Oh, I got the whole thing the wrong way around. It's a slightly different shade of grey in a weird way. It's more defined, and I like it. Right, so back to the other one. The weak one. And then take this directly out. Bring it directly in. Can you see the change right now? The difference? I prefer it with the little kind of... It looks like... It's not a footpath, but it's got that like kind of like little side section. The gutter for water drainage. Yeah, you know, it kind of feels like that. But that works. We're all up and running. You can't say nothing right now. We are connected in multiple directions with that. So we're only really needing one more, which I'll throw up here. And then we have our little ring road on the go. So before we do that then, let's kind of think about the next industrial zones. We've got an industrial zone there, one over there. I feel like one over here wouldn't go amiss. It would be quite important to get one of those in. Which would be the train line, again, progressively going around, again, which is not a problem. But I feel like I couldn't build it until... we've got the other highway connection added in, and then an off-ramp, and then we'll figure the rest out on that kind of point. But with all this vehicles right now, they're trying to get on and off to the highway. Now, not all of them want to get on and off the highway. But what if I took a quick little look at what I originally wanted to do? I don't know whether this is going to be a good idea or not. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. So, I don't even know if I want to do it or not, to be honest with you. So what I'm thinking of doing then is, for example, if I did a 10, right, 10 by 10 bend will be there. So instead if I go by a 12 by 12, and then brought this directly over this whole area by 30. And then if I do another 12 by 12 just to kind of complement the whole bend aspect of it, Means we're now 14 away. So if I do a 4, and then I split by a 15 by 15. It does drop a node in though, and that's not ideal. So let me cancel that. 12 by 12. So how far can I bend this before the roads go? Nah, that should be fine. I just want to, this is going to be an experiment, okay? This is literally going to be an experiment. But it allows us to kind of utilize this road so they can kind of funnel in down into this area. Or I can make it funnel directly into that road. And then that road up there progressively pops up and cuts into there. So we have this like little slip road for the deep industrial section. Keeps it slightly away from the import-export area. See, that could be interesting. I'm more interested in connecting it to there than anywhere else. I don't know what type of traffic we're going to get caused from this, but if I bring this up to... Is that a 10? It is, isn't it? Yeah. 8 by 10. And then bring it over there. Right, if I pause quickly. Delete this. Scrap that idea. Is this even in a straight line? Yeah. So, what we're saying on this bend here. 8 by 8. And then cranks in. Again, it's so weird that we're doing this. It is so weird that we are doing this right now. But it could be a nice alleviation of the traffic. In a weird way. Right? It could be a nice... Now, again, it doesn't really make sense in terms of dispersing this traffic. Right? Because they can't go that way. So we then have to implement something very similar. Now, we've done it on the third one away. So you got that one, that one. So it would be for us, this one on this side. So 10 by there. All the way across to here, which kind of clips that building slightly. So we got to there, and then it was another 10. It was an 8 by 8. So an 8 by 8, and then that was a 5. So I'm literally trying to replicate as much as possible. That was a 5, which led that to be onto a 12. That led on to be a 12. Obviously, that one flips round. Oh, we didn't even sort this out. That becomes a 2. These bend a bit more. It's so weird. Why are we doing this? Well, if it works, then we're on to a winner. Now, I don't know whether they can turn on this. Let me just sort out all this anyway. There we go. So that is going to alleviate some of the issues. Only a tad bit, though. It allows them to kind of then funnel directly onto this. And then, I mean, all they really can do is then they can turn off this and go in that direction or whatnot. But if they were trying to come up to here to get onto the highway to continue, then that alleviated that little trip. Gets them to other areas. But actually gets them onto the highway quicker than normal. Now, it does come at a cost. We are slightly pushing... I move that up there so it doesn't kind of clip within the building. So it comes at a cost that we're having to, like, you know, overpass all this. It looks a little bit mental. Vehicles are using it, though. So we'll see. We'll see. I won't kind of fix everything here. I'll see at what costs in terms of traffic this does cause. I'm not saying it's kind of instantly solved it, but there's a lot less vehicles on this road right now, isn't there? But again, we'll see. We'll see what comes from this. We'll see. It's very bumpy and bendy here as well. What happened there? That one random node on both sides. We're okay on the other sides, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? Are vehicles coming down here right now? Yes. Vehicles are using this. So that becomes ideal too, which might mean they utilize... you never know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, guys. But not to say we fixed it, because we still have issues with the junction and whatnot. It could be ideal to maybe elevate this. Roundabout could be the way to go forward too. We got the room for it. But my most common phrase right now. We'll see. We'll see, guys. So hopefully with the ability for the traffic to now disperse a lot better, it might keep some of the businesses alive a lot longer, which then the influx and change in industrial doesn't matter too much. I don't know. I could just be talking jibber jabber right now. But more industry. We'll squeeze in through here. We'll fill all this section going up right now, and then the rest of it is going to be all offices. And then that's it for this area in terms of industry. That is it. We ain't touching anymore, ain't doing anymore. We call it a day for this area. But all offices. Down to there, to there, to there, to there. We'll paint the rest. Spend that demand right now. Get that residential demand up. And then we're laughing all the way to the bank. You see what I mean? I'm using the offices as a buffer for the traffic. But at what cost, Seniac? At what cost are you doing this right now? So even though we got these kind of being filtered directly into the center of this industrial area, the traffic's not bad. It upholds. Meaning I don't need this now. Which means I can zone this a little bit better on the inside. In a weird way, it kind of works. It does, doesn't it? In a really weird way. Yeah. Interesting. So industrial will build up here, which is only going to put more pressure on this junction. Right? It's only going to put more pressure on there. But I'm hoping they use the train line a bit more anyway. I mean, I've eventually got to swing it all the way around. I'm going to do like a big interchange over here for the train so they can change to different lines. But, yeah. If I implement a super demand right now, it'll bring so many people, and I don't think the city's ready for that type of expansion just yet. I've only just got the highways added in, boys. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. But yeah, everything is looking good. Traffic is, I suppose, as minimal as we could want it. I mean, we do have chunks of it right now being blocked up over here. I don't know whether that's only just arrived and it's going to slowly disperse, or whether that's going to be a future issue down the road. Again, don't know, mate. Don't know. We'll figure it out. But guys, we're going to end it for here anyway. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash the like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So good.